people. You know the vibes, we outside. More life and more blessings. Do it for the love. Episode 22. You know I'm in the building. Eric Buddy Davis and my co-host.
Self-spit fire.
And you know how we always feeling, but we got to make sure you on par with us. So you know we're feeling good, feeling great, feeling good, and we hope you are too. It's episode 22. Mm-hmm. So, never been a Cowboy fan. The first person I think of is Emmitt Smith. But, you know, let's check our temperatures as we always do for all of our viewers, all our subscribers. We got to repeatedly tell you, like, subscribe, share. We grow as our audience grows, and we need you, the people, to continue to do so. We got those hot topics for you. We got the content for you. So we'll stay consistent. My brother, what that temperature feeling like?
Before I get into my temperature, I'm not going to let you go.
What I do?
Without, how you missing some of the dog? Only dog you know is 22, Emmitt Smith.
Who I miss?
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, shit.
She can throw some more dogs.
She can do 22. Give me some more.
Jimmy Butler.
Okay. Emmitt still, Emmitt still will be 22 over them though.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
But I appreciate Caitlin though. She's on them.
Derrick Henry?
Yeah. Shout out to the new brain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but still Emmitt though.
Temperature for today, I'm feeling a little conflicted.
Okay.
April showers been killing me, bro.
I got you.
Hopefully May flowers will make me feel better. But the rain, bro, so much rain. And you know, of course, right after the bridge collapsed, so they having a little bit troubles getting that up out the water. But rain ain't one of the things I like. It's good for rest, but you know, I need sunlight to give me that energy and just that upbeat motion. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
How about you, bro? How you feeling?
Well, me being a fall winter baby, I like this type of weather. It's just very calming and relaxing. It's therapeutic to me. I don't like driving in it. I will give you that. It's definitely like stay in weekend weather. But outside of the weather, bro, my temperature's feeling pretty good, man. I feel pretty good. I feel like this year's starting to take a turn for me. I feel like I'm starting to catch my groove and my rhythm. So, you know, I am a even number baby, being born on the 28th. So I feel like episode 22 is, you know, a good vibe for me. I'm feeling good. And for those who don't feel good, this is the episode for you, because this is episode 22, and this is for the love of understanding. And as you know, we like to start off our episodes with giving you the quick definition of these words before we go into how we feel about it. So understanding, the ability to understand something or to comprehend something. Another definition, sympathetically aware of other people's feelings, tolerant and forgiving. Something I read that I like. I read somewhere that understanding anything foreign or unfamiliar is the sum of your knowledge of a certain topic, task, or situation. You know what you know. This can change or deepen as you learn more. But being an understanding person doesn't take a lot of studying. It takes opening your heart to appreciate how someone else feels and what they experience. But before I go deeper into my thoughts, those were all book definitions and quotes that I grabbed. So, let's talk for the love of understanding.
For me, I mean, just giving you pretty much, the book definition is pretty straightforward about what it means, but to break it down in my terms, I mean, it's just pretty much taking, you being a listener and sitting back and taking notes from somebody, sitting back listening to, it could be rules, it could be instructions. Understanding is taking that information that you just received and being able to comprehend what was said and knowing what the action is moving forward or what you shouldn't do. Gotcha. And that's what understanding, and I think it's very key for a lot of people to understand or overstand, and if you don't, let it be known. Because some people act like they understand and then will go and just completely go the opposite, and that's just contrary to what it means.
Right, and for me, when I break down understanding, from my perspective, the first thing I think of is what it takes to be understanding, and that's normally knowledge and information. I think in this judgmental world that we live in today, it's easy for people to get frustrated and give up on things, or, you know, there's new options for college, as we spoke off the camera about these kids just transferring if it immediately doesn't work out. It's like a lot of people don't understand the pressure.
Or the process.
All of that above. So the first thing I think about when it comes to understanding is all of the different, you know, tangible things that come with it. Because we're in our 30s. We're a lot more understanding than we were at 18, 20, 13. A lot of stuff comes with experience. So when I just think of understanding, I think the message I want to leave to people, do your best to work on your patience, you know, your empathy, just certain things to try to understand where another person is at, to try to understand it. But literally you have to do that work, because I'm not asking you to just go be Captain Save a person and every story you act like you triumph or you're the voice for it. You don't have to fake it. But at the same time, this is a big world, and you're going to need somebody one day that may not look like you, come from where you come from, or experience the things you have. And imagine them trying to help you if they don't understand your situation, or at least try to. So just be very cognizant of how you treat people when it's time to respond and act. Straight up.
I love it.
So, moving forward from our topic tonight, we're going to go straight into one of our favorite segments, because we love to, compliment things and put people out there to the world. So this is our sponsor highlight. And for tonight, our sponsor highlight is going to be a person that I started out with in my young days of doing retail at DTLR. I'm going to highlight the company and brand, what should I call my store, who is owned by my good brother, Pat Blanchard, also known on social media as Pat is Dope. The story is that it's a black-owned store that's located in Bowie Town Center. If you're interested in ever shopping there, the address is 15606 Emerald Way, Bowie, Maryland, 20716. Just to give a quick backdrop, Pat used to work at Up Against the Wall. I was at DTLR. Pat graduated, I think, from the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. He used to do behind-the-scenes footage. If somebody was at an HBCU concert, if somebody was in town, Pat had access. Pat had the media pass. Pat backstage. He took those relationships, and now he's dressing NFL players, local celebrities, and just your common everyday shopper. So if you're ever in Bowie Town Center, go support my guy. He has mostly all black brands in there, people that you're not going to find in other stores. So definitely go get with my guy.
And I don't personally know Pat is Dope, but I've been following him for years, because he's always been a popular influencer in the DMV. And one thing I will compliment him on is the way he can style and put those outfits together.
Facts.
So if you follow him on Instagram, you'll get some dope sets that he puts together and shows you how he will put it together in his style. And I think it's just dope for anybody that that's a sneakerhead.
Right.
I guess that's why Pat is Dope is his name, because everything he putting out there is dope. And if you're a shopper, he's definitely always doing those flash sales on his page, first come, first serve type of thing. So shout out to Pat is Dope.
And I didn't tell you this in your face, broski. I respect your style and your recommendation so much that when I was at the store last and you told me like, no, yo, you should just go get that and go get some white forces. I don't wear forces, nigga. I haven't worn forces in a long time. No disrespect to my white and black force wearers. But I walked out the store making you probably believe I was about to go cop some forces. So that's how much I respect you, my G. I appreciate the recommendation, but not for me. So, moving forward, I'm going to shift it to my brother, because I normally do shine the spotlight, and I'm going to let him shine the spotlight tonight. Who we shining, bro?
So shining the spotlight tonight was actually one of our previous guests. And shout out to Fred Watkins, a.k.a. Big Fred. Recently this week, he was honored by the Baltimore Dreammakers. He's one of their honorees, amongst a bunch of other pioneers who work and been inspiring and creative in the community. Fred has been doing this thing with Little Laughs. I said it on his episode, but if you didn't get a chance to watch, Fred has a nonprofit organization called Little Laughs, where he takes his comedic expertise and takes it into the classroom and shares it with the students while bringing the funny out of them, but also showing them how they can use their comedic talents to get over some of the hurdles of bullying, how to just have fun and make friends, and it's just a dope program. And I wanted to shout out Fred because he's been honored not only for this award, but many other awards in the city of Baltimore, constantly doing this thing. So salute to Fred Watkins. Make sure y'all follow him at Big Fred on Instagram.
And I think that was maybe episode 6 or 7.
Yeah.
If y'all want to go back, check out his episode, super dope. And I just wanted to shout out Fred because even from that night we shot that episode, he like literally right when we stopped shooting, he said, bro, you got to host open mics. You're naturally funny. I know I'm the comedian, but you got to get into this lane. So off the break, he left me with an impression of a person that's not scared to share his knowledge, share details with you to help push you forward. And he's just doing so much in the city. I know he just helped host the Tech Summit at this past CIAA weekend. So man, just keep tearing the city up, bro. I hope that we one day work on a set together, if it's acting or if it's actually a comedy show, and I might be introducing you. So I hope that we continue to run into each other and work, my guy. Special shout out to you.
And what I heard in that is a lot of understanding. One thing that's dope about other people in their profession, it takes a lot of balls and people skills to see somebody who's doing what you do and not feel like threatened or not want to share some information. So he understood what your mission and your goal was, and he also understood how to align with some of the things that he's tapped into when he shared that resource with you. So shout out to everybody out there that understand what's in front of them and ain't afraid to share those resources.
Absolutely. And for all of the people watching our show that might be sitting in their car watching from their computer screens like, hold on, this ain't how the show normally ran. He skipped something. Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. But now we're going to spin the block right back at it. I love to not love segment.
Yes,
for all of those that watch our show, you know we're all about the love, big hearts, big vibes. And, you know, we try to stay away from things that some may say they H-A-T-E. The person that's our special guest tonight is such a watch. He called me out on it off camera, talking about I said it the last episode that he watched. So I apologize for any people that think that we're off brand and we're out here just, you know, false capping and not staying on topic.
Yeah.
We don't say the H-A-T-E word on our show. We spell it out, but we don't say it. So this is our Love to Not Love segment. And you know the lover over here,
For sure.
he loves to start it off, but I got it tonight. So I'm going to hold it down. My first I Love to Not Love is going to be people who don't have other people's boundaries, but they have their own. And if you don't know what I mean by that, individuals that will tell you, take your shoes off as soon as you step in the house. I don't like stuff on my couch. Don't eat in my living room. That couch is just white. It ain't for you. Whatever they may have in their house rules. But when they step into your house, when they get in your car, oh man, crumbs on the seats. They want to touch a radio. It's no boundaries. They don't have any limits to what they'll push with you, but they'll be willing to cut somebody off if they even cross a percentage of their boundary. So I need y'all to be a little bit more, I don't even think the word is accountable. I need y'all to be understanding of our boundaries. Because it's not like we don't like you as people, it's the reason you're in our space. But the fact that you don't care about what we care about, it shows you may not really be worth our time. So I love to not love you, those people who don't consider other people's boundaries. You want me to cap it off with 2 back-to-backs? I can hold this down tonight. You got one?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
My first love to not love. At first, I feel bad because I was just gonna say Spanish or Latinos who act like they don't do something, but this ain't even just towards them. This is any foreigners that's not from America that get here on our land and shit hit the fan and they act like they don't understand English. That shit kills me. But I will say the Latino community, I've experienced it more with them than any other community. Car accident, them bumping you from behind, and as soon as you get out, me speaking no English, but as soon as you say police, they understand that. It's like, come on, like if y'all gonna come over here and you know you come live, at least get the right English tech teachers to come out and teach you some of our language, so y'all ain't gotta always hit us with them well no English shit. But as soon as you need a job and or they hiring these same people to work in restaurants or doing telecommunications, come on now, it just don't make sense to me, bro.
Special shout out to El Cabrito and Annapolis. You know, the ones on Hillsbury, they speak good English. The one on West Street, bro, I went there once. She had to count out the change and like her. I ain't disrespecting people because I know it's different levels and everybody's at a different pace of learning language and just getting accustomed to new land. But man, that should be having me on the floor, bro, because it's like it's 2 different worlds in a 5-minute drive. Yeah. And they're both Hispanic or I don't want to say Mexican or whatever because there's different levels of Spanish.
And it's the same thing. Like you're not going to put a person that speak Ebonics in a fucking bank. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
They go there after hours.
Yeah, time you can't show you got the right English
hit the
credentials, then get out of here.
Got you. So my second love to not love on this episode, I'm gonna look y'all dead now because you know I'm with the hive.
What you got?
Anybody acting like they're not rocking with that Beyonce Cowboy Carter album?
I ain't here yet.
Listen here. For those who even on the other side of this, we started country music. Just like we started rock and roll. Just like we started probably a lot of other things in this country that at some point in time, the translation got lost and it became yours. Yours is you know who you are. So for the love of understanding, how can we be breaking barriers that we already broke? That's the fight of being black in America. So when I listen to Cowgirl Carter, I hear, for one, I love ballads, and I think Beyonce is one of the best at doing them. So when I hear her making songs highlighting all these young black country artists, and I know people are going to hate on it, oh, they've been making music before. Yes, but no one knew them. And now she's done an album to put them in a platform so now they can be in these big shows. They can be awarded for a genre that doesn't highlight them at all. But now you can't avoid it. with Cowboy Carter. Cowgirl Carter, who I think is projected to do like 500,000 first week. So shout out to Beyonce for once again stepping on the game and making the choice.
You can't even mention a cowboy hat without bringing up Beyonce.
Right now.
She done just took everything.
And I put this on Facebook.
Amen.
Black people get ready to see all of these niggas in cowboy outfits all summer long when this tour tickets hit. I can't wait to see it.
When I see a street nigga in cowboy boots, that's going to be the end for me, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You better stay away from these fucking stadiums in the summertime because these niggas is outside. But that's a perfect segue, brother, because that's what you need a little bit in your life.
What?
Understanding. Blacks love cowboy outfits too, son.
Okay.
And this is episode 22 for the love of understanding. And I think it's time.
Hold on, you ain't let me get my last one off.
Oh, yeah, I'm so anxious tonight. I'm sorry, brother. I'm just off the rip.
My last love to not love is for the people that watch the show, and they love it. We appreciate all of the fanfare people that give us our compliments. But people who don't understand what the purpose of this show is.
Talk to me.
And they got to make it about themselves. I done had a few people that reach out. They started out with, bro, I checked out the show. I love what y'all doing for the people. It's dope, good message. You got to get me on the show. And nothing against anybody wanting to be on the show, but there's certain people who ask me, I mean this with all due respect, they don't have anything going on right now. Whether it be working with the youth, or whether it be a business, or something that has been highlighted before you even got on our show. It's like, you want to try to use this platform as a way to either change our narrative by talking about the streets, or just coming on and make, you might have just been starting out, you trying to use this platform, but that ain't what the show is for. The purpose and understanding what Do It For The Love podcast is to shed light on those who have already been putting in the work, who've already built up that stature for themselves. Right. And we are trying to shed light on those stories so we can understand how to get to that point. But no disrespect to those who are just early out or who just got out of jail. We get it. Start your own podcast, though.
And we know we like to switch roles. So when it comes to being stern, he's the principal of this school when I'm the vice principal. Come to my office, we'll talk about it. That's the best I can tell y'all, because I know y'all like to approach me because I'm the quote-unquote friendly one. But yeah, as my co-host said, just have something to talk about. We shouldn't have to sit next to you and have to ask you questions as if we invited you here. You want to be here, so come in here ready to give your game, ready to talk to the people.
And there's nothing wrong with loving the show and taking that energy and going to your people. Like, have you seen Do It For The Love podcast? Right. Selling Buddy's show, they got this topic, whoop-de-whoop. A lot of parents, y'all should be showing this show to your kids because that's who we really setting this up for. We want to make this so that, of course, it's on YouTube. It's all over different platforms. This shit is going to be spinning for years and years. So it's always going to be educational for the next generation. So that's what we here, understand that, for the love of understanding.
Episode 22. It's time for our special guest review.
Welcome back to Do It For The Love podcast, episode 22. Deuce. And typically I will be doing the intro coming in as I've done lately, but Buddy, if you all remember from our previous episode, he said that he coming with the heat. He been practicing, he ready, so I'm gonna let him kick it off this episode. Buddy, who we got on our show today?
Hold on, I'm getting ready. Okay, beautiful people, I'm back. So, tonight we have a very special guest. On episode 22, we have a man that I would say is a master of many things. He is a therapist, licensed master social worker. He is an HBCU graduate with a bachelor's degree in social work from Bowie State University and a master's degree in social work from the University of Connecticut. He has been a mental health therapist for 12 years. He is a husband, a father, a coach, a landlord, entrepreneur, and minister of ceremony. You know what they say in rap, like MC, you might as well call him a master of ceremony as well. Like I said, he's a master of many things. So, I will let him tell you the rest. But first and foremost, I need all my lovers, all my subscribers, all my viewers, no matter where you are, phone, tablet, or car, please make some noise for Mr. Ryan Harper, baby. How you doing tonight?
You can only wear one hat on your head at a time. The man right here wear a lot of hats, man.
Listen. It's
you got to.
It's a pleasure to have you here, brother. We've all known each other for a very long time. Being that I did the intro tonight, I'll let Sel kick off how we normally get things started.
Okay. Y'all know how we kick it off on Do It For The Love podcast. On this show, we always like to shed light on those doing a lot in the community or for the people. So we like to start it off real simple. Who is Ryan Parker?
Man.
How you want the people to know you?
Various things, but like Buddy said in the intro, husband first.
Okay.
I love it. That's the vibe I ride with.
Okay.
Father second.
Okay.
Then I've been a mental health therapist for about 12 years now.
Okay.
And the landlord part is kind of new. My wife and I actually purchased a home in Baltimore and moved. We lived in the city for 2 years.
Okay.
So we moved to Reservoir Hill, which is a very, up and coming area of the city, and lived there for 2 years. And now we run it out. So we've been able to. It's a thing called house hacking, and I may get into it with y'all later on. But I'm gonna just say house hacking, and we going what we do when we come back. What we do to it when we come back to it.
Spin the block.
Okay, my man. He asked. Listen, this man watches us, so I'm proud to have him on. He's a true do it for the love affair. So thank you for being here for that. So my whole question is going to be, who inspired you to get into social work? You seem to know from just reading your bio. You seem to know that that's what you wanted to do. Coming out of high school, it seems to be. So who got you into that?
So funny story. Did y'all have career days back in middle school?
Absolutely.
Y'all had to follow. They don't really have that too much anymore. They definitely should.
I just did 2 career days where I was a speaker, so I guess it probably just depend on what the principals or people in the school really want to see. So shout out to the teachers that's really out there.
Career
Still
days.
So needed. Do more.
So I have a cousin. Shout out my big cousin Cleve. He was a social worker. My mom's one of the youngest of 8 kids.
Okay.
So a lot of my cousins are like aunts and uncles to me. You know what I'm saying? Like my first cousins.
Right.
So my cousin Cleve in the 8th grade, we had a job shadow career day type situation. So nobody went to school, everybody just followed that person to work. And he was a social worker in Baltimore City. Mm-hmm. So I'm, starting the day with him. I had to put a little, shirt on, tie on, look presentable. And we just literally, he was riding around the city meeting his clients, just conversating, man, just conversing, So like that day, I realized I could do this. This ain't really communication has always been something that I've been really good with. So just seeing how he was maneuvering throughout his day, it's like, man, he wasn't even really at work. He was just kind of talking to people all day.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that really influenced me from 8th grade to know when I go to college, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. And I think I know what your answer is for my question. It ain't really about the work being easy, I should say, when you said, damn, I want to do this. It was about, what was it about for you that outside of it being something that you felt like you could do? Right. Was it the passionate side of what he was doing for the people that really led you to that work?
For sure, man. I mean, the people that know me know I'm a real sociable guy. Mm-hmm. My wife would tell me I have never met nobody that wasn't, a friend, to communicate with randomly, know. So I think just seeing how he was communicating with people made me realize I can use the talents that I have socially to be able to communicate with people and do this as a career, as a profession. So that really helped me in understanding all right, I can do this. I can talk to people. It's not a big deal. Some people are shy and don't really have too many words. I've always been a guy of many words. Like my man Buddy over here.
What you think?
So it kind of came natural for real. So
I got you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move into one of my what questions. We just had a guest on by the name of Tierney Thurman, and she was speaking very highly on her HBCU experience. Being that I saw, see that you're a graduate of Bowie State University, can you just speak on your college experience at an HBCU for the people, and then after you answer that, compare it to the Connecticut master's experience?
Okay, good question. So my college really started at Virginia Union University.
Okay.
So fresh out of high school.
I know Union.
I mean, I had a 2.1 when I graduated high school.
Talk to him, B. I love that you're standing in there.
You know what I'm saying? I had a 2.1. And my senior year, I don't know if y'all know my story. I used to ball. I used to ball.
Absolutely.
My senior year, I get arrested for smoking weed.
I didn't
know that.
So my senior year, going into my senior year, I was deep on punt returns, returning punts, returning kicks, starting corner, and starting slot back. I played one scrimmage against St. Mary's, had 2 touchdowns on defense. That's my senior year football experience.
And ended before it even started.
Before it even started.
Damn.
I go hang out with this kid I probably shouldn't have been hanging out with anyways. You know, in the mall, this is mall parking lot. When the top when they put the parking garage.
I know the top
parking garage.
Yes, sir.
We in there baking a whip out. They run right behind us. Whoop whoop. And little did I know, because you know I had put in a little McDonald's cup straw.
Right.
They didn't find it. But I was with had like a couple more grams in a whip that I didn't even know about.
Shit.
So they got us.
Yeah.
I want to apologize on behalf of the state of Maryland for not being legalized back then, because you know, if that would have happened today, they would have just probably gave you a couple questions. Not even a ticket, just question you. What you guys all right in here today?
Right.
And so
nobody's driving. No, we going in the mall.
And imagine how many other athletes
For sure.
fucked up opportunities through something. Man, I'm sorry you went through that, bro.
Yeah,
so that night, my parents had to come get me, and you know we all got old school parents. My parents 73, so you know they wasn't going for nothing at that time. It was all right. You did this. We going tomorrow morning. You quitting the team. You might not even play basketball.
Shit shut down.
So that next morning, I went and talked to my coach and was like, I gotta quit, and explained to him why. And that same morning, I looked in the newspaper, players to look out for, cornerback, Ryan Parker.
Oh,
Such a bittersweet.
That's
You
a
know
gut
what I'm saying?
punch.
So that really like was the pivot moment that really made me understand like what am I doing now? You know. So my parents, under the guidance of the pastor at the church, you know, he was like, all right, if the boy get on a roll, let him play basketball. So me, always been a smart guy. I just wasn't really into school, man. ADHD, you know, was in the way there. So I get the opportunity to get on a roll like twice my senior year, and I played basketball. Was honorable mention all county, made the all-star team. Was the team captain.
I remember
all that good stuff.
Yes,
You got some buddies, buddy. So that put me in a position to have a 2.1. So I look back at that and I'm like, if that never happened, I might have not made it to college because I wouldn't have got to that 2.1.
Gotcha.
You know, so I mean, stuff happens for a reason.
That moment.
I don't knock my parents at all for making the decision they made. Like the kid who was with me, he was at practice the next day. You know what I'm saying? My folks, nah, he off the team. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my folks, man, for really raising two young black brothers. Shout out my brother. My brother's an archaeologist. You know, a lot of people don't even know that about him, but they did a great job, man. So shout out. So pivoting back to that, going to Union and then going there for 2 years. And Union was a great experience, man. I really enjoyed Union. And coming from Broadneck, which y'all know, majority white. You know, and luckily I had the village I had around me, Browns Woods. You know what I'm saying? Mulberry Hill, different
real black communities.
Yeah. And my mother is from, I grew up in a house that my grandfather built for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's a different type of empathy.
You know what I'm saying? My grandfather hit his brothers like, hey, what's up, y'all? Help me build this house. And when my grandfather passed, my mother inherited that land and that house. So that area I grew up in Broadneck, I grew up in 7th until 4th grade. So when my mother inherited that house, that's the area we was in. You know, so, all right, I'm getting off track.
So, it's all good, bro. It's a part of your journey.
So moving back, you know, made it 2.1, applied to one school, Virginia University. It was that or ASCC. And we know the 13th grade ain't really don't get you where you want to be sometimes for a lot of us brothers.
They keep you stuck if you're low.
For sure.
Yeah.
So going to Union, man, just being around black people, man, like it was love.
Changed everything.
Everything, you know, and I was the type back in the day, you know, I dated some people outside of our culture. You know, going to Broadneck. You know what I'm saying? Going to Broadneck, you know. But really going to this HBCU, man, Virginia Union, I still have good friends from there, man. Like it was an experience, man. We all was out there broke as I don't know what, you know, helping each other out when we could, you know. I had brothers that was feeding me when I didn't have money and vice versa. I buy the pizza tonight, you know what I'm saying? Like it was all love, man. And really what took me from Virginia Union was like, it was a private institution. So every year that tuition went up. And when I saw, you know, we talk about the refund check a lot.
Right.
And we get that in college, but if you really look at the bill versus just the refund check,
you in the hole.
Change your whole mindset, man. So even getting that first refund check, I looked at the bill and I was like, yo, I can't play around no more. You know what I'm saying? I really got to lock in, do my work, and get what needs to be done.
It's not a social experiment.
Yeah,
I actually got to produce.
And so, but you know, I think I had 2 black teachers from kindergarten to 12th grade, and then going to a school where all my teachers black. That was a different vibe. You know, like you can't match that.
Is it still the Union experience or Bowie as well?
Both.
Got it.
Both. But the Union experience put me in a position to, I think I had like a 3.4 when I transferred from Union.
That's great.
And the only reason I did was because the money. It went from like $22,000 a year to $8,000 a year.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? And the same quality of HBCU education, great professors and all that. You know, and being at Bowie for that time period also gave me connections to the community. I mean, had internships. Shout out Adams House, man. It's a place called Adams House in Suitland, Maryland that is a one-stop shop. You can get your teeth fixed and you can build your resume in the same spot. And I was an intern there, man, and I connected with my supervisor who I actually just called him last week. We still talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a real cool dude. So being at Bowie really gave me an understanding of like culture and like black sticking togetherness.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? If that's a word, you know.
That was a well-thorough answer.
For sure. Sticking togetherness, man. And it was I remember a situation where I didn't do too good on the paper. And at Bowie.
Okay.
And my professor, Miss Johnson, man, pulled me in her office and said, Ryan, I know you can do better. Turn this in next week. If I was going to PWI, they would have gave me the D or the E or, you know, whatever it was.
You talking about the PWI is?
Predominantly white institution.
I didn't even know what that was.
Predominantly white institution.
I knew what it was. I knew what the connection.
PWI.
I know what those are.
HBCU, historically black college and university.
Okay.
Got it.
So, you know, that experience of like, and she was like my grandmother to an extent. Like, that's how I viewed her.
That's how they connect.
She was able to say, Ryan, you can do better, man. Do better. Versus just giving me the bad grade. So I always love advocating for HBCUs because of that. We want everybody to succeed mindset. You know what I'm saying? And it continues to be that way to this day. And one of my professors is like the dean of the social work department at Bowie now. Like, she just invited us over the house for a cookout.
That's beautiful.
Like, I'm still connected with these people, man, and it's all love, man. And the HBCU experience is different. But transitioning to PWI. So I had no plans of going to grad school, right?
Right.
And Bowie put on a graduate school fair for like the seniors.
Okay.
And I went, and I'm hearing all these schools talk, and I just kind of went because it was class time, you know, whatever. And the lady from UConn come up, Miss Conyers. Shout out Miss Conyers. She's not at UConn anymore, but she was the admissions lady, and she was a country lady from Alabama. Right. So she in there, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Hey y'all, you wanna come on down to Connecticut? Like, it was that vibe, all love, you know. So she was in there saying, we got 4 rides for black kids that want to come to UConn. I'll take one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I had the experience to talk to her that day and almost get accepted just by her being there and us. Because, you know, a lot of people, they don't want to uproot whatever they got going on and move to Connecticut. Right. I mean, you know, I didn't have nothing rooting me down to stay in Maryland. So I took the journey, you know, and I went to this PWI, University of Connecticut, which I still love. You know, we about to be back-to-back champs, you know, coming up next week.
Men and women? You calling it?
Men and women.
Right.
I mean, we won 2 while I was there.
Right.
So yeah, man, and you know, going there and really like diving into the culture of Connecticut. You know, and a lot of people don't know the culture of Connecticut. I mean, literally, where my campus was West Hartford, which is more wider area.
My
More
best friend is
wider
from
area.
Hartford.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you go, then the same, it's like MLK. They got an MLK out there too. So it's like, you ride down the street, you in the white area, then boom. You see the Jamaican area, boom. You in the Puerto Rican area, boom.
So it's actually more culture than what people think.
Everything, man. I mean, you got Africans, you got Dominicans, you got Hispanics, you got, you know, everybody. So being in that situation and moving out there, and luckily I went there with one of my homeboys that went to Bowie with me. We both kind of went out there on the scholarship, and we run together. So we had an opportunity to us build together, but also build within the campus of Hartford, you know, West Hartford. And I remember the first day of class, the teacher asked, like, what are the core social work values and the ethics? A couple different things. And I'm sprinting them out. she was like, Ryan, let somebody else answer.
Yeah.
And the only reason I knew that is because when I was at Bowie, Miss Johnson, when we walk into class, give me an ethic, give me an ethic. That was every day. So she instilled in us like knowing the ethics and the policies and everything of your profession. So when I went to UConn, they thought I was the most, knowledgeable guy.
So unique and so different.
And I'm just like, well, this is something.
Wow.
This was a drill for us in the beginning of class, So yeah, that experience, was cool. And I actually ended up. So I did 1 year at UConn, and within that year, I proposed to my wife.
Nice.
So we was long distance. She actually lived up the street in the city when she was teaching. My wife was a teacher at Frederick Douglass for a couple of years.
Gotcha.
So after that first year, we got married. Mm-hmm. That second year, I'm married. She moved up to Connecticut, so it was a different vibe of college than what I was used to being a single guy. You know what I'm saying? So, when you talk about, shooting in the gym, wifey was shooting in the gym with me, man, like revising papers, like helping me understand like what I was doing, like even my mother-in-law, she helped me write papers, like they was like, this brother is not gonna fail.
So you
know what I'm saying?
You're going right into my next
I'm ready to say, we asked a question about Connecticut and Bowie. This nigga gave us the whole bio. I appreciate your thoroughness in your answer though.
In his explanation, one thing that I got from this is not only the importance of HBCUs, but the importance of black teachers. Because I was kind of in the same boat as you. It didn't take me to get to college to get that first experience, but shout out to Eric Elston, who was our teacher, who's now Dr. Elston, and Mr. Chambers, who was also the assistant basketball coach at Annapolis High. But making sure that they not only gave us stern learning in those categories, but also just understanding us as a culture and making sure that they were like big brothers, or almost like a father figure outside of just the school and that work. So that was what I got from him speaking on that experience. But moving into my question, you told us the importance of HBCUs and the culture. What was when did you first realize the importance of family, and how did that play an impact into your professional endeavors? I think you was getting into that. That's why I stopped you.
I mean, honestly, like family, like, and I'm gonna start from the root. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandfather, and I'm learning a lot of stuff about my family recently that I didn't really know about. My grandfather helped build the Bay Bridge.
Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah, was out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in Jones Elementary, he was the guy that got intercoms in the classrooms. Like, my grandfather was doing a lot of like social stuff that connects to the social stuff that I do nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So family has always been a big, important, piece of my life. My parents been married, I want to say 44 years.
Okay, shout out to Black Love.
Yeah, shout out mom and dad. Yeah. So that's always been a big influence in my life as far as family. And to connect that with what I do, being a therapist for the last 12 years, like at my current position, I have some kids I've been working with for like 7 years, seeing them grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I go to the house, everybody greets me. The little sister, you know what I'm saying? I'm like a part of the family. Yeah. So the connection of family is super important to my life, but also super important to what I do and what I love to do. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. So I'll move into one of my why questions. Why is your therapeutic services with at-risk youth essential to you? Why did that word call you? And I know you already spoke on your social work, but that's specific, the youth at risk.
So I'm going to start that with, y'all watch Nick Cannon podcast?
Sometimes.
You seen me had Dr. Umar on there? So
I watched that episode.
I was watching that one, and the key thing that he said is to help these black boys. He said, we need more black teachers. We need more black therapists. That's really going to influence them in a way that has never done before.
Because they understand them, just like the reason to go to an HBCU.
Man, I talk to my kids I work with just like I'm talking to y'all right now. So they understand that, and they can say, dang, Mr. Ryan, appreciate you for being real.
Comes off so genuine.
Yeah, and it is. Because I care about them genuinely.
You really do care.
Just as much as I want to help them genuinely.
Got it.
So that's an important piece, man, as far as like me working with the youth. Like, that's the future.
Right.
And the way that the future is looking, they need help, man.
Yeah.
They really do. And for a lot of kids nowadays to be open to therapy, which is it's highlighted on now versus being in the shadows back in the day.
Like how we grew up.
You know what I'm saying?
Who went to therapy our age? We that shit.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
Not even talked about.
But people realize how much more they need it now than ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
People's mentals are way more fragile than what they used to be, so the sensitivity to any topic and any feeling has been heightened. So I just want to say thank you for doing the work you do, because I had somebody reach out to me in my DMs like a few weeks ago, like, you know anybody mentoring 10-year-olds? You should do it. Like, telling me what to do within the question, and I'm like, I really don't know nobody that's out here mentoring 10-year-olds.
We might have to tap into that, bro.
Let's tap into it, bro. Seriously, because I've been trying to find ways, because like, I'm self-motivated, but I love a good leader or somebody that's already in it and just like, yo, buddy, I need you to do this. I'm there. So let's do it.
But see, the thing is, Bud, like, Bud will come talk to him with his plaques in his head, and you can connect at a level that a 50-year-old brother can't connect.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it is important for us to be in these youth's life.
Let's build
as much as we can.
We're going to build on that.
Yeah.
So.
My next question is, what challenges do you face in your work as a mental health therapist, and how do you navigate that? Because you told us how you stood out in some classes or in certain spaces, but how has it been a challenge, and how do you overcome it?
So I'm gonna use a terminology that we use in the field, and it's called compassionate fatigue.
Talk to him.
Compassionate fatigue. So that's something that say I'm working with a kid, right? And we've made mad progress. He's doing great. Then he backslide. Oh, come on, man. We done talked about this. We done been through this 20 times. Like, I thought you was good, you know? So that's something that really, like, I'm working on overcoming, you know, because I know, like, some of these kids just need, like, that one positive influence to get them over the hump. And I try to be that as much as possible. But sometimes, you know, even when you know, like, this kid knows better, but he made a bad choice. Gotcha. You know, I've made plenty of those.
My son just did that.
Yeah, and you know at the same time, like, that ain't him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've heard a lot of things about some of the kids I work with that I know, like, that's not even him.
Right.
What's going on? So that's probably that's one of the biggest hurdles, and I think the other biggest hurdle is getting these parents on board.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the hardest in everything.
Getting these parents on board, man. I mean, technology has taken over as babysitters.
Parenting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it has taken over. And to really eat, and sometimes I'll try to have family sessions. And for whatever reason, they may go on, they may not. And trying to reschedule them, like, come on now, you got to be involved. You got to know what's going on. And I want to talk to you about how we can help your kid. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think, you know,
so it sounds like you end up being more committed to helping their child's situation than them.
People that's there every day.
Sometimes.
And I was going to actually piggyback off Sel, because I actually don't. I had one more who went weird question, but I won't ask it. If Sel has one more, he can ask. I'll just piggyback quickly. So from the way you answer that question, do you feel like, do you take it personal when someone backslides?
No.
It doesn't impact you?
You know why I don't take it personal?
Why?
Because God made us have free will. So we all can make choice. I mean, I could tell Sel, hey, don't drink from that water fountain. It's contaminated. He might be like, let me get this. You never know. So that's what I'm saying. I don't never take it personal. I'm just like, boy, this disappointment more than anything.
I want to help so bad that it's like, damn, there's nothing I can do here.
Right.
Self-choice. So,
sure.
Got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. Why is it important for therapists to have a holistic understanding of their clients' backgrounds and experiences?
Question. That's a good one. That's probably the most important part, to be honest with you, Sal. Like, I self-disclose a lot with the kids I work with, especially the teenagers. They know my story.
That's the connection.
You know? Yeah. They know my story. They know how I used to get down back in the day. I mean, I'm a very active therapist, and what I mean by that is, in my trunk, it's basketballs, it's wiffle balls, it's baseballs, it's footballs.
You go connect.
We let's go outside.
Right.
You know, like, we're not playing the game today. We're going outside.
Right.
So I think the respect is due to a person that can take you on the court and give you buckets, because you think you're nice, but you're not that nice.
Right.
You know, and can throw the football with you 50 yards, if you know, whatever the case may be. Like, I got a kid that just won a state championship that I've been working with for 6 years, you know, and probably gonna go, another kid I don't work with anymore, ready to go D1 as a receiver. So I think there's a lot of kids that need that connection from somebody that's kind of lived that life to an extent of like, been there, done that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a real important part. So, and like, you know, working with the African American community, which is like dear to me, you know what I'm saying? Like really being involved with these young black boys specifically, you know what I'm saying? And really getting them to understand like, you got to be on your P's and Q's out here.
Thanks.
You know, I mean, I tell them that a lot. Like, we are young black men. Like, even some of the mixed kids I work with. To the world, you a black boy. You not mixed. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to carry yourself and understand, like, you know, keep your head on the swivel. Like, you might not be able to do that with them, but they can do it. Right. But if you there, you know.
Clear transparency.
So being in a situation where I can really adapt to the culture that's my culture too is important in the work that I do.
And one follow-up question real quick, because it's important. I've had a few white professionals reach out to me because they know my connection to the culture in my community, and be straight up and be like, look, I'm working with, I'll use one person specifically, this teacher I know. He is almost a social worker and a teacher in the school working with students that may have had a few issues. Like, he may be working with 4 or 5 students at the time. And not just black though, not even just black though. He said, he was honest, he was like, some of the white ones are some of the most ignorant ones as well. But he asked me, like, and I'm asking you, what are some tips that you would give to breaking through to get that comfort, get that understanding and that trust from the students if they're not black? Like, what is a tip that you can give other professionals connecting with the kids?
Definitely come down to their level. And that's something that I humble myself with a lot. Like, I mean, I'll talk to kids, so I don't even really cuss that much because I'm always talking to kids. So I don't have the adult interaction like a lot of people do on a day-to-day basis, you know? So
you speak their language. You
got to come down to the level. And for example, I had an older white guy that I work with come to me and ask, hey, Ryan, I'm working with this teenage, you know, African-American. Like, we're not really connecting. How can I connect? I said, what does he like to do? Play video games. I said, well, go over there and play video games with him next week.
Very simple.
And yo see me next week like, Brian, it works so much, man. He's talking so much. We were able to play video games, had a great time. I'm like, yeah, come down. Don't get him off the game sometimes to come talk to you. Sometimes it's, let's play the game. I mean, I bust plenty of the kids I work with in Madden 2K. Don't get me wrong. You know, I don't take it easy on them kids.
No, never.
So
that's the only way you really learn.
And being able to do that even put me in a more position like, dang, Mr. Ryan Nice in 2K. Like, I gotta respect this man.
Right.
You know,
now they look at you like a peer kind of. It's like, damn, you came down to our level so much. Right. Everything you said correlates from the HBCU teachers to how you saw your grandfather work and build the things, not seen, but the things you learned about your family. Everything correlates to understanding your worth, understanding the foundation set before you, understanding the value of your life. So everything you went through, from talking about your mistakes in high school to finding a woman that helped you stay balanced, to understanding your family's heritage and worth. Man, I just want to say that was an amazing, responses to all of the who, what, when, where, and whys, because I feel like the people have a very good understanding, episode 22, of who you are from your answers, for sure. So, did you have anything else on those notes? Because we can move into. You good?
Yeah.
All right. So once again, want to clap it up for you. We appreciate you in that section. So we're gonna move into our rapid fire questions. And this is, as a person that watches, because you do, this is when we want you to be, quick on your feet. Don't overthink it. Gotcha. Give us your true will. We know, as you said about me, you ain't scared to speak your mind. So this should be fun. Right. So kick it off.
First rapid fire question of the night is: what is your favorite therapy food or therapy or comfort food?
It's gotta be a good pizza, man.
Okay.
I'm a pizza guy.
Homemade or certain restaurant?
Man, we was just in New York a couple weeks ago, and whenever we go to New York, my wife is like, we gotta go get some pizza.
The big slices?
Yeah, man.
Ninja Turtle slices.
And the good thing about it is my son, he's allergic to dairy.
Okay.
So we always find a pizza spot that got vegan pizza, and he get to have pizza just like everybody else. So
dope. I started my son the same way. Not hugely allergic to cheese, but slightly. Yeah. Now he's fine, but gluten-free pizza was always on a constant search for that.
All right, my first one is actually, and I'm only going to ask it if your answer to this question is yes. Do you and your wife and your family go to church?
No.
No. Okay, move on from that question. I like the honesty. Best rapper turned actor for you.
Well, you know what? Let me rephrase that.
All right.
We don't go to church consistently.
Okay, but y'all go.
But we go to churches sometimes, and we are a very religious family.
Got it. And I don't think, just to be straight clear for people, I don't think you have to go to church to be religious or believe in God or have a consistent moral compass in life. It's not for everybody, and that doesn't mean that you should, talk down on people that don't do it. So there was no disrespect in me moving forward. It was just like the question didn't make sense if he doesn't go all the time. So I'll keep it moving.
I might go enough that I can answer your question.
All right, let's keep it. You feel like you want to answer it, so we're going to ask it.
Grew up in the church.
What's the first thing you think of when you leave church?
I'm hungry.
I said it. What I say? Food, nigga. First thing everybody think about is food.
It might be in the basement cooking. It might even seep up through.
If you're in the right black church, you definitely eating in the church when it's over. So,
my next rapid fire question is: who is your biggest inspiration outside of your professional life?
It's a good one, man. I mean, I think we all can relate to this. The GOAT, Kobe Bryant, man.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the endeavors that Kobe was in off the court, you will understand the type of guy that he was, man. Family guy, and even him advocating for the women's basketball game. I mean, he had a daughter that was probably gonna be the greatest ever. But rest in peace, Kobe, man. That's my guy, man. That's big motivation right there.
and we actually spoke about that in episode 21. We talked about his daughter. We talked about him advocating for women's basketball, and now, the universe heard him, and it's now bigger than men's. At least this year in the 20.
What
So
you
that's
think
great.
his daughter would have did being a freshman this year?
I know she would have went to UConn. I know that much.
Over USC?
Come on now.
Okay.
She'd
she
have
going
been out
page.
UConn.
That would have been good for her.
She'd have been out UConn.
Yeah, Gino was coming for that.
Yeah.
So, I'll stick with basketball since you brought it up. And I'll say it slow so you can actually think about the era, as I said. What's your NBA starting five with one player from every era, and your sixth man is from the 2020s? So 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, sixth man 2020.
So
Era.
we gotta go Will.
One.
Gotta go Will.
70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
70s done.
We gotta go Magic.
Okay.
I need a big point guard,
I think Magic came in 79, 80, so I'll give you the 80 point. Because Magic was going to be my 70 pick. But
So
go
we
for it.
got Will Magic.
Will Magic.
What I need to go 90s now?
90s now.
Mike, come on now.
Technically, Mike was drafted in the 80s.
So
89. It was 89. So
85.
85?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Because he played against him. But I'm giving you
Can I
these.
go Mike?
No, all right. So what? Mike, Magic,
A starter.
Will. Yeah, 90s is his starter. 2000s. Then you got to pick somebody drafted in the 2000s. So the 03 class,
Let's go KD.
Oh, okay.
Let's go KD.
All right, now you got to go 2010s.
2010s. Who we got? Run that back for me one more time. We got Will.
So you got Will, you got Magic, you got Michael, you got KD.
Okay. Let's go Steph. Let's go
All right,
Steph.
so your sixth man, somebody that was drafted in the last 3 years, last one.
I'm going one B if I'm you.
No, we got bigs already. Let's go. Last 3 years. Let's go Ja. Is Ja?
I love it.
Ja?
Yes.
Can we
Yes.
get Ja on
All
there
right, I
too?
got you.
Crazy.
You have a very, very interesting starting five from the bench player. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I know you're a hooper, so I had to ask.
Yeah, for sure, man.
My next question is: when was the last time you cried, and what was it about?
Tough one, man. Honestly, I think the last time I cried was when Kobe died. I was at my man. Shout out Troy. I was at Troy and Clyde's son's game, and we all got the news. Nobody believed it. Nobody believed it, man.
Bro.
I mean,
Grammys morning. I remember.
We got that joint, man. And after that, I went home and I just kind of wasn't a breakdown, but it was they started coming, because I knew that was my Jordan. You know what I mean? A lot of us, Kobe was our Jordan. So just to hear how he died, if it would have been oh, Kobe died in sleep, but to hear it was a helicopter crash, that one hurt, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had to call my cousin because I thought he already knew and he didn't, and he was driving. He had to pull over on the side of the road, man. Shout out to Che. But he loved Kobe. I remember in Bates days, he had a Kobe locker, Laker locker in his room. So, shout out to the Prime. It pops up even when we don't ask for it. This is 2024. This is the year of the Black Mamba. Stay on attack, stay aggressive. Be real about your shit. So.
I think that was my question.
That was your last one?
No, that
Oh, that was your question? Okay, bam, back to me. How do I want to ask this? If you can remember, if Ray Bush and Andrew if Ray Bush and Andrew played in high school, because I'm sure they did, and now it would be different, I'm sure. Who would have won who would have won like a best out of one-on-one, best out of 7 series?
I mean, my man Drew had buckets for days, but he couldn't deal with Bush.
Bush was different.
I mean, at that point in time, Drew was like 5'8", Bush like 6'2".
Right.
So their game was different,
Gotcha. And I just remember, I asked that because I remember going to St. Mary's and y'all played us in our gym, I believe my senior year, and Ray wasn't getting a lot of time. I didn't play a lot of high school either. So that's what made me ask that, because Andrew was a starter and a guy.
That's another thing. Like, shout out my man Bush and my man Drew.
I had to shout out the Broadneck Bruins. I had to shout out.
I would say me and Drew kind of played within that system. And Bush played within the system, but out of the system too, which he could have been, a better player and played more with that team, but because of, whatever reasons, but Drew no Bush would have gave him.
Gotcha. So no. That's real talk. I had to put you on the spot for the homies.
And my last one is, if you could combine 2 celebrities to create a positive influencer for the next generation, who would it be?
That's a good one. I think one will probably be LeBron James, man. I mean, what he's doing out here in the community, like that man started a school. He giving everybody full rides to Akron University, like that's really like putting your money where your mouth is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say LeBron James for one. Then I would probably say who would I pinpoint to? I would go with Beyonce, with Miss Carter.
Okay.
She could go because of her influence on the world, she could. I mean, there's so much that woman could do with the youth, and people really like understanding like, how life could be if these celebrities really came together.
Right.
And I mean, Elon Musk was ready to end world hunger, but they couldn't identify where the money was going.
Right.
He said, "I'll end world hunger, but y'all got to tell me where the money's going."
And they
They ain't want the money.
Right.
You already know.
So that's what I'm saying.
They profit off of hunger.
You got these influential people, man. Some of them are willing to really dive in.
Yeah.
Got you. Segment, which is Spin the Block. You actually spoke about it in the beginning of the episode as somebody that watches us, pretty much consistently. So I'll go ahead and throw this to Sel and let him introduce Spin the Block to me.
Before you get into what you spoke about earlier with Spin the Block, I had a question in reference to real estate. So I was watching the news the past couple days, and it popped up twice about these people that are hopping in vacant homes that are soon to be rented and staying in them because the court laws don't prohibit them from staying in there, and it's causing a huge issue to realtors.
Yeah.
So have you experienced that yet, and what's your input on that?
I mean, honestly.
And what's the term for it? I forgot.
Squatters. So honestly, for the people that are squatters, they know their stuff, man. I saw a video of a guy who like squatted in $1 million house in this white neighborhood, and it's his house now. And the neighbors were pissed off, like he didn't buy this. I mean, if you know the laws, you know the laws, man. I mean,
it's a way to be.
I don't knock no squatters, but I understand like it's a hindrance to like people who own vacants and things of that. I mean, the remedy to that is don't have your house a vacant. Like fix it up, like make it livable so somebody can move in there possibly, or you move in there. I mean,
you wasting property.
Yeah, I mean it's really not much you can other than board your house up as best as you can. These people know the laws, man.
Yeah.
So they're taking over homes.
Shout out to the squatters in West Philly, man. I went to Made in America 2 years ago, and shout out to Latoya for booking the house. The house was nice, but it literally was across the street from a motherfucking house and it running cable through the whole neighborhood. See the wires outside, and the squatter was beefing with the owner in the middle of the night, bro. The whole weekend we was there, that shit was lunching. So shout out to the
whole
squatters.
Movie about squatters out too. I can't remember the name, but it's an interesting topic to talk about.
Gotcha.
I don't think I can see myself as a squatter. I got too much.
Well, imagine being homeless.
Now that I think my integrity will be a lot different. But as a person I am today, I can't just hop in a space and just know because of the way the law is set up that I'm gonna take advantage of that person.
Gotcha.
Because you almost, in a sense, I would believe, have to now stay in that space and not move because the moment you leave out, whether it be the grocery shop, if I'm the house person, I see you leave, now I'm going and changing the locks, covering the windows, all of that.
Doesn't sound like comfortable living.
Not at all.
So
you can get Amazon door, you know, you can get stuff sent to the house.
that's true too. That's true too. You can make it yours.
Right.
Before we move into another segment, was there anything else you wanted to spin the block on?
So spinning the block, I know I talked about house hacking.
Okay.
And that's a terminology that my wife and I found out about during the pandemic. You know, we in a pandemic. We trying to figure out money moves and you know, interest rates going down and things like that.
Okay.
So essentially house hacking is you buying a house like it's your regular residential house. Right?
Okay.
So we bought a house in Glen Burnie in like 2015. So we've lived there since then. And 21, I want to say, we bought a house in Reservoir Hill in Baltimore. And I kind of knew the guy who did some work on the house, so he kind of put me in line with the owner, so it didn't even go to the market. He sold it straight to us.
Gotcha.
Like, this is what I want. You got it.
Connection.
You know, so we were able to get this home, and it's a beautiful home. And you know how these row homes are. It's like 2,700 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, and literally like it was right behind a park. Mm-hmm. So I could sit on the back park, you know, sit on the back and watch my son go play in the playroom. So it was all love, man. But house hacking. So you buy a house, live in it for minimum a year, or if there's like extreme circumstances, you can get out before that. But if you live in it for a year, then you can rent it out. So that's kind of how we got our first rental property. Is the home we left in Glen Burnie, we didn't sell it. We kept it, we rented it out, and we bought another home. Mm-hmm. So we were able to have 2 homes, kind of like, you know, one was residential and the other was an income property. And the lady who started out, you know, income property life signed a 2-year lease. Mm. She ain't missed the first in 2 years. Mm-hmm. You know, so we ain't had no issues.
So that's residual income.
Yeah, man. I mean, she was paying our mortgage plus some. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a life hack. Yeah. You giving out life hacks because you know. And I preach real estate and buying homes to everybody. You know, my friends, some of my friends have brought some homes, this, that, and the third, and hopefully I was able to motivate them, you know, to do that. But you know, would I still keep in that home in Glen Burnie and rent it out? Shout out my wife, man. You know, honestly, like, you know how we talk about us being him? Mm-hmm. She's her. Mm-hmm. Shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? She is her, and she knows it. You got a good one.
My wife, instead of getting a side hustle, she decided to go to law school. Mm. Come on, man. You know, I'm going to make more money doing this versus, you know, getting this little side job or whatever. So my wife's an attorney right now, man, and she actually works in Boston, so she flies back and forth. Gotcha. But because we kept that home in Glen Burnie when we moved to Baltimore, when that 2-year lease was up, we were able to move back to that Glen Burnie house that's 7 minutes from the airport. She got to get there, you know, twice a week, and rent this Baltimore house out. So the house hacking thing is pretty simple to do, man. Like when you buy a income property, you got to put up 20% of whatever, you know, the cost of the house. But if you buy it as your primary resident, you know, if it's a FHA 3, if it's a conventional 5%. Mm-hmm. So instead of us, you know, buying a straight up rental property and having to put up mad money, we were able to live in one. And you know, like I said, I'm the type of person that like to put my money where my mouth is. Gotcha. So, okay, we buying a house in Baltimore. I want to live there to see, you know, really how it is to live in the city. You know, as an owner, I've rented in the city before, but as an owner, and really investing in the neighborhood. Gotcha. Like I got on the board at the community center. You know, like was tutoring kids after school at the community center.
I seen that. I seen it in the bio.
Yeah. So I mean, I really got like immersed in the neighborhood, and you know, neighbors were cool with me. Like I knew the kids, I knew the hustlers in the neighborhood, so they wasn't messing with my house or, you know, oh, OG. That was the first time somebody called me OG. Mm. That made me really realize, like, I might be an OG.
Yeah, I'm inspiring people. So it's
we're really getting old, man. But that house hacking thing is something that I would encourage people that already own homes. Buy your next home, but you don't gotta sell that first home that you brought to buy the next home. Use that as residual income, as a rental property, you know, whatever the case may be. And we use property management companies, so we just kind of sit back. Right. You know, we don't have to be involved. You know, So house hacking, look it up, research it, figure it out.
Gotcha.
My last question real quick. You spoke about being, damn, I lost my train of thought, but anyway, move on. I'll come back to it.
All right, what's the block on yourself? So I was gonna go into inspirational moment messages where you'll just lock in on the camera and leave the people with something. But I feel like you've given a lot of these already in the episode, but I'll give you an opportunity to give more. If there's a gem that you can give the people, either about marriage, about being a therapist, about the college experience, what gem would you like to give to our viewers and your viewers, the people that are going to be watching this because they know you're here?
I'll give two. I'll give two gems, man. The first one, I'm gonna just say one word: why. And I say why because as kids, when we used to talk to our parents, oh, go clean your room. Why? And the first response, because I said so. That's not enough nowadays. Like when my son started talking and we could communicate, I said, hey, look, Ryan, I'll give you one why, but that's it. You better understand and listen when I give you that why. So my son has always been a curious kid. Like, if I don't know the answer, we'll research it and figure it out. And a lot of parents need to start grasping that concept of one why.
Understand
to really let your kid know what's going on. Like, my son knows so much information because of those whys that he asks me when I tell him stuff or tell him to do something.
What you set up.
So why is definitely the important thing that I think parents need to really start giving the kids versus just because I said so.
Got it. Gem one.
And the other gem I would say is, in August, I've been married 13 years, man.
Congratulations.
13 years in August. And the best thing I would say to dating couples, newlyweds, or married for however long is continue to date your spouse, man.
Oh, man.
Continue to date your spouse. Don't get complacent, and think that, oh, we good now, I got her, or whatever. No. Go, surprise your lady, take her out to eat. Bring, my wife knows I'm good for a dozen roses a week. A dozen roses a week, just pop up in the house.
This nigga putting the pressure on us.
And
dozen roses a week? A dozen?
Dozen a week, man. And sometimes I slowed up because I done went and brought her the roses that last for a year. You get the year roses, so I don't got to get them every week, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, continue to date your spouse, your lady, whoever you dealing with. Don't just get complacent.
Got you. So, it's crazy because I had different questions rolled in about your wife and family in the episode, but you just naturally gave her light. So, whatever you've done to this man for the last 13 years, send more sisters outside, that, take your tutelage. Because, it's good brothers out here and there's people that's out here looking for love, and it says do it for the love. Episode 22. So, this moment, we're going to zoom in on you. And this is a moment you've already given so many gems and so many, important messages. But this is a moment for you to lock in with the people that you really want to leave with something. If they could leave with one message from Ryan, this is your moment to deliver that message.
The one message that I would like to leave with, y'all in the world is this. And I'm going to just say this, and you can interpret it any way you want to interpret it.
Okay.
The grass don't grow where the sun don't shine. And that's what I'm gonna leave you with.
Okay.
You can interpret it how you want to interpret it, but the grass don't grow where the sun don't shine.
Gotcha. I like to say you can oil a bald head, but it doesn't mean your hair's gonna. I just made it up. You should see the faces directly. He loved it in his soul, but he ain't showing it in his face. But listen. We have a few minutes left. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Just a quick trend that's going on, not related to your work, not related to your personal life. Anything quickly that you'd like to talk about going on?
We could sit here and talk about the Ravens getting Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? And we could talk about UConn about to win their second in a row national championship.
And it's going to be the third one in 10 years that they do it. They did it in 2004, 2014, and this is 2024. So if it happens, that's destiny.
Clean sweep, men and women.
All right, we shall see.
I'm a big UConn fan, big Bowie fan. Go to CIAAs all the time. But yeah, man, I just want to thank y'all brothers for having me on and really coming here and building with y'all. And I love what y'all doing, man. And I definitely continue to watch and see y'all grow as this podcast grows, man, and I just appreciate y'all, and Shout out to Cell's fiance, right? I met Cell's fiance doing some volunteer stuff, you know, on a college tour with some kids from the community center, you know, in my neighborhood. Great woman, man. She really be out here doing this work for these kids, man.
She
really do, man.
And it was dope because when she mentioned that she met you, she told me what you was doing, and it, not that I didn't believe it, but you know, I hadn't caught up with you for so long, so it was just dope to see you in kind of the same field, dealing with kids. But she had nothing but good things to say in that brief period of meeting you, just the relationship that you had with the kids you was out there with. So shout out to you too, bro.
And I'll just, before I wrap it up, shouting out to everybody, I want to say thank you, bro, for just being transparent, reaching out to us with so much love for the show, and being inspired by us to come on here, because with everything you told me today, I'm inspired, bro. So, you know, I'm not married. I don't have like real estate properties, but these are things that I've always seen, but I might not thought was something I could grasp without doing the proper work, and just knowledge that you dropped on us and things that we can go research now and do our own proper research. I appreciate you, bro, for every gem that you dropped today. For sure. Straight up. So y'all know how we do. Like, subscribe, share. DoItForTheLove.com, the number 4. Do It For The Love Pod. Hit us up on Instagram. Shout out to Atelier Baltimore and the Faceless Cardi B fans out there in the world. We want to send a special shout out to, you know, we got to show big love to our sponsor highlight, my brother Pat is dope. What should I call my store? Make sure you go shop with my brother in Bowie. And we also want to send a special loving shout out to our sponsor highlight, shine the spotlight, Mr. Fred Watkins, also known as comedian Big Fred. And you know us, man, Eric Buddy Davis.
So spit fire.
And this is episode 22. And what is tonight about? For the love of understanding. And that doesn't take place without our special guest who loves social work, who loves family, who loves the community, who loves building up the community.
Loves sports.
And keeping legacy going. Once again,
Stories.
Mr. Parker. Thank you, my brother.
Round Parker, thank you, sir.
Do It For The Love, episode 22. You know the vibes. We outside.